Hello, good morning, students. So, today we shall continue with the same chapter, that is linked lists and stacks from the unit data structure. So, today we shall discuss about traversal of linked lists. So, in the previous program, we saw how a linear linked list was constructed. So, today we shall see how the traversal of linked list, okay, how it moves on in the array linked list. So what is traversal of linked list? Now in traversal of linked list, each node of the linear linked list is traversed until the end of the node. So each of the node will be visited at least once. So in this traversal of linked list, it is used to count the number of nodes. Okay, you can change the data value of the nodes using this traversal of linked list and then print the data list. So traversal is done for each node exactly once only, till the last node it becomes null. Now as you can see in the textbook, you have an algorithm. So the algorithm for the traversal of linked list is, in the first step, if first equals to null, that means when you are searching for the data in the linked list, if the first data value happens to be empty, clear, if the first data value happens to be empty, in that case it will print out list is empty and then it will stop the program. So if the first data value is there, okay, if there's a data in the first array element, then that value will be stored in temp variable. So you can see that the swapping method is it is used again here. So that will be stored in the temp variable, and a comparison will be done, a test condition will be done using the while loop. So in the while loop, temp should not be equal to, as long as temp is not equal to the value null, step 4 and step 5 will be repeated. So step 4, what you will do is that it will print out the value that was stored in the elements one by one. Clear? And then in step 5, it will show the link to the next data value. So you can see that you can use the pointer method, that is the direction arrow, to point to the next link. So the temp variable, it has two array elements, one array element to store the data and another array element to, it contains the address of the next link or the next data value. So this process will keep on going till it starts from the first element till the last element. So the last element will not have any pointer, so it will not have any pointer address, so no address will be given, that will be, the link will be null. So in that case, temp value will become null, so that will come to the end of the program. Clear? So I will show this using a block diagram on that. So the explanation of algorithm through a block diagram. Clear? So as you can see here in this block diagram, we have three linked lists. So you can see that it is in a linear format. So you can see that in the first array element, the data value 3 is stored, in the second element 5 is stored, in the third element 7 is stored. So for each data, it contains two elements which occupies more memory space. The first element contains the data value, and in the second element contains the address of the next data value. So 200 is actually the address of the next data value, that is 5, and 300 is the address of the next array element, that is 7. So 200, okay. So you can see that in the first array element, on the left hand side it contains the data value, and on the right hand side it contains the address of the next data element, that is number 5. And in the number 5 array element, you can see that it contains the data value, and then it contains the link or the address, it contains the address of the next data value, and after number 7, since there is no data, so it points to no address, so that's why it is null. So as you can see that here 300, okay, 3 is the data value, and in here 3 is denoted as the first or head node. So in the linked list, we should always have what is called as the head node or the first node, through which the counting of the nodes will start. Without that, if that value is null, if there is no value, suppose like 3 is not there, then this program, the counting of the nodes will not start at all. So a data value must be present. So 3 is present here, and 100 represents, okay, 100 here represents the link or the address of where 3 is stored here. Clear? So in the head node, it will first contain the data value and the address of where that value is stored. So only in the first node it will show like that. Okay. So this shows the data that is stored in the first node, and the second array element shows where 3 is stored, in which, you can say, in which memory location. Clear? So now what will happen is that, since traversing will be done for each node one by one, after the first data value is traversed, it will move on to the next data element that is pointed by the link or temp, okay, as it is written in your textbook, okay, the temp node, that is the link node or the address node, okay, which is 200. So here 5 is the data value, okay, and 200 is actually the memory location where 5 is stored. So here 5 is the head, 5 becomes the head node now. So now the head node is not occupied with the value 3, but now the head node stores the value 5. Clear? Since traversing of the node is done only once, so it will move on from one node to the other node. Clear? So now the head node stores the value 5, and the link node now stores, okay, now stores the address, okay, of the address of the value 5. Clear? So this is how it moves on from one to the other. Clear? Now after that, finally, next when we move on to the third array link, okay, then it will show in the head node the value 7. So since 5 in the second array element, okay, 5 link node directs to the next data element, that is the address is 300, okay. So you can see that in the head node, okay, in the head node first you have the data value, that is 7, and in the second you have the link node, that is 3. So that is the address, so it stores the address. Clear? So that is for 7. Clear? Now after 7 you can see that there is no more data, so it is null. So what happens is that in the link node it will display null. Clear? So this is how the traversing in a linked list, okay, it works. Clear? So it moves on from node to node exactly once. Clear? So this is one part of the data structure. Okay, in the next class I'll discuss about stacks, okay, which actually covers up more portion of these chapters. Okay, so as it is in the program that is written in the traversal of linked list, okay, go through the algorithm, understand the algorithm, and based on the algorithm, okay, you check the program that is there, okay, and then compare with that, type it out, okay, run it out, and see what difference it shows. Clear? So that will be all for today. Clear?